Well, good morning everyone, it's Captain Cristian here with another interesting exercise, this time with the VOR navigation and an ILS approach. So I'm gonna use Foreflight here, that's what you have in the screens right now. Foreflight is one of the best applications, the one that I use in real life and as well with the simulator. So I'm gonna use this one to plan and fly a very interesting short flight from Torrance to Van Nuys. So in Foreflight we select flight plan up here and let's enter here Kilo Tango Oscar Alpha, which is Torrance, space, and then Kilo Victor November Yankee, which is Van Nuys, space. So that's our route. If we see in the screen here, that's our route. But the idea is to practice IFR procedures, so we will not go direct, so we will need to find some kind of airway or some kind of route to get from Torrance to Van Nuys. So one of the interesting things about the Foreflight is that it gives us the previously cleared routes, so we can see what's ATC been cleared previously to flights, to other flights, to other people that has been doing this same route. So it's been cleared SCTP2. It's been cleared more than 186 times total. So you can tell here that this is most likely the route that we will get, SCTP2. And this is good for turboprop piston jets from anywhere from 4 to 17,000 feet. So yeah, that and this is the route basically. So what is this SCTP2? Let's select this to the route because I think that's the one that we're gonna have. And SCTP2 basically, if we go to the nav log, is Santa Monica Canard. So that's what we have here from Santa Monica to Canard. That will be the route, the cleared route. Now, if we go to documents here and we go to the chart supplements for the Southwest region, then we found this section which is called Tech, Tower and Route Control. And if we look for here, first of all, we need to look at this aircraft classification here. So we have basically JM for jet or turboprops, P and Q for non-jet, and depending on your cruising speed. So that's basically the classification. Now we have to look for route pairs here. So we're gonna look from Torrance, and we can see here Torrance runway 11. Now we are assuming that the runway 29 is in use today. So let's keep looking until we find, and down here it is Torrance runway 29er. So from here, where do we want to go? We're going to go to Van Nuys. And here is the route ID, the same that we saw that have been actually cleared. So it's SCTP2, that is the route that we will use. And here's the route, Santa Monica, radial 317 from Santa Monica to Canoa. And altitudes are 5,000 or 4,000. 4,000 for the piston airplanes, basically 5,000 for the jets and turboprops. So that is SCTP2. All right, now let's assume that it's not visual, so we will have to have any kind of departure procedure. So for that, again, we will go to flight plan, edit flight plan procedure, and we select departures. And we can see that there is one departure from Torrance, but that one doesn't really suit our needs. So we will have to look for something else. So we'll close this one. We'll go to airports, Torrance, and we go to procedures, departures. And here we have two. The Hawk 3, that is the one that is not really going to where we want to go, so we cannot use this one. And the other one is the takeoff minimums. So here we can see, here we will see what can we find. So we will select this one, and then we will need to go and look for Torrance. So bear with me until we get to the Torrance area. And it's Torrance, here it is. All right, so these are the takeoff minimums and obstacle departure procedures. So these are the minimums. Those are non-standard minimums for runway 11. For runway 29 is standard minimums. And for runway 29, this is the departure procedure, and that's what we are going to use. So what it says, departure from runway 29 left or right, climb on runway heading, and then both departures, so it means runway 29 and runway 11, both departures climb to 3,000 feet and intercept LAX radial 170 to limbo. All right, so now we know what's our departure. So I'm gonna close this one up here, go back to the map and try to make sense of that procedure. So LAX is this VOR here and the radial 170 that goes southbound here, and we can see that this is the one that goes to limbo. So in other words, what we can expect is something like this. We will climb in runway heading. I'm gonna select this coordinate here, and then we will go to limbo. So I'm gonna select limbo here. All right, so now what usually gives, based on experience here, is that they will give us from limbo the radial 251 to Seal Beach. So here's the limbo and here's the radial 251 to Seal Beach, and then intercept the radial 125 to Santa Monica. So it's gonna be something like this, like this. There we go. I'm gonna select the GPS coordinates for that as well. So that is our route. We will take off runway 29, runway heading, then we will intercept 170 radial from LAX, then we will turn radial 251 from Seal Beach, and then we will turn to intercept radial 125 to Santa Monica. And from Santa Monica, we join the route to Canuck. And from Canuck, I'm gonna go up to Vasco here. So Canuck, Vasco, and then I'm gonna practice on procedures. Going to select an approach to By Nice. I'm going to select the ILS Zulu from Amber, and I'm gonna add that to my route. So here is my complete route. Let me hide this plate for now. We don't need that right now. So that's our route. We are going turns, runway heading, intercept LAX 170, intersect Seal Beach 251, intersect Santa Monica 125, then go to Canuck, then continue up to Vasco, then going to Amber, and from Amber the ILS procedure 16 right into Van Nuys. So if we go up here, we can tell that it's a total of 95 miles and is about 37 minutes in the Cessna 208. We will probably go to 5,000 here. Let me select 5,000. There we go. And we can tell in our profile that it's correct as far as terrain is concerned, and we have our nav log here. So that's our route planning. Now let's execute that. So let's jump into the plane. All right, here we are in our airplane, Cessna 208 Grand Caravan. We are in the run-up path here, holding short of runway 29 right. And again, this time the plan is just to practice VOR navigation. So I'm gonna use any GPS or any of that fancy stuff. So let's get us ready for what we are gonna need. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit on the instrument so we can see what we're doing. And first off, let's see, we are gonna need here, our first VOR that we are gonna need is LAX, which is this one here, 113.6, and the radial 170. So let's set 113.6 here, That's our first VOR. LAX is correct. Now we are going to go to VOR 1. Let's go to PFD and select bearing 1 to nav 1 and bearing 2 to nav 2. And let's also select the wind here. Option 3 is the one that I like. And okay, so VOR number 1 from LAX, first radial is 170 radial. So I'm gonna preset that here, 170 radial. So there it is. We have the radial 170 from LAX set. Then the next radial that we are going to need is Seal Beach. So Seal Beach here is 115.7 and the radial 251. So let's go in nav 2 to 115.7. Let's make that active. That is Seal Beach. That is correct. And we're still not receiving here any signal, but we will do shortly once airborne. And we need from Seal Beach, we need the radial 251, but inbound course will be 071. So let's change this to VOR 2 and let's go in VOR 2 to radial 071, which is radial 251. So we are all set here for the first two legs of our route. Number 1 is LAX course 170, radial 170, because we are going outbound. And then we will switch to number 2, which is radial 251, course 071 to Seal Beach. So that's all set. Let me select here VOR number 1. And initially we are going runway heading. That is a heading of about 295. We can check the exact heading. Well, let's see, two options. Number 1 here, it says heading 297. Okay, that may be the case. Or number 2, we go here to airports, Santorini runways 29er, and we say here for runway 29er right is 160. Sorry, it's 294. Okay, so this one is already considering the wind. I'm not sure the wind is exactly the same here in Flight Simulator 2020. It's not been very good with winds yet. So I'm gonna select heading 295 for now. And altitude initial climb, remember it was to 3,000 feet. So there we go. Heading 295, climbing to 3,000 feet to intercept the 170 radial from LAX on the VOR number 1. So that is set. Now let's check the altimeter here. It says that altimeter is 2974 and the elevation is 103. So 2974, and that makes sense. So the altimeter at least is good, 22 degrees, and it was versus 21 degrees. Okay, so it looks okay so far. Winds are calm, right? So now we have everything set, I think, for our departure. Let's make sure that our trim is set for takeoff. Our condition level is going to be on high idle. Our flaps are already set for takeoff. And we are ready. So lights and ready to go. So here we go. Let me pull over to the whole short line here. I'm not gonna bother with ATC or any of that stuff. Oops, would be a good idea to release the parking brake. Okay. So again, this is just VOR practice, not gonna bother with other procedures or anything else. I just want to practice VOR stuff.
Approaching runway 29 right.
Perfect. So before we go, let me set the flight timer here. Start this one. Okay, let's go. So to recall, we're gonna be taking runway heading.
Entered runway 29 right. 1,494 meters remaining.
All right, that is correct. Okay, here we are. 295 is correct. Let's go. Okay, that's too much power. Let's correct a little bit. Yes, okay. So rotation would be something like 75, 80 knots, something like that. 70, 75, 80, rotate. And we want to accelerate to 95 to retract the flaps. Let's do that. 94, 95, there it is, flaps up. And now we accelerate to climb of about 115 or so. Okay, so there it is, 115. We are climbing, gonna set the prop speed for climb is 1,800. Good. Now let me engage your damper. That is not modeled. Let me turn flight director, engage heading select, and the vertical speed here with about, what are we doing? Doing about 1,000 feet a minute. Alright, so that is what we have. And now autopilot. Okay. So let's see, the flaps are up. Engine set. Lights off. After takeoff, checklist complete. Okay. So now, as soon as we have an indication of the CDI that starts moving, we will start turning. Passing 2,000. Let's say now the control clearance all the way up to 5,000. So we set 5,000. CDI should start moving shortly. Okay, let's start turning. So we intercept the 170 here. That's quick enough. So the system, the autopilot intercept the radio for us. And we are going to limbo. So let's bring this up. We are going to limbo here. And limbo is, let me select the IFR load chart. And we can see that limbo is 15 DME from LAX. Okay, so it's not doing a very good job here intercepting this. Let me change to heading here, stabilize this thing a little bit. Okay, limbo 15 DME, and we need to do basically a 90-degree turn. We are now 6.5. So that means that okay, let's see if now this is more stable. Yeah, now it's more stable. All right, so we are tracking the 170 degrees radial down to limbo, as you can tell here, and 15 DME is position limbo. We need to anticipate a little bit our turn, otherwise we will overshoot. So for that, and it's almost a 90-degree turn, so for that we know that we are flying 130 knots. That's basically a little bit more than 2 miles per minute. and means that our anticipation should be about 1.3 DME before the waypoint. Limbo is at 15, so minus 1.3 means at 13.7. Once we are at 13.7 from LAX, we can start our turn 071 to Seal Beach, and then we will switch to VOR2. Okay, so let's see if that works. Not gonna work. 071, we are almost there, so let's turn now, edit select, let's turn now to 071 and change to VOR2, and yeah, we are almost there, and we are leveling off at 5,000 feet. Great. And again I'm gonna select here now. Let's see how well it tracks there. Right on 071. Okay, let's see now. Alright, okay, so let's see, we are intercepted on 071, but that was not 15 DME. I think that was from something else. I will have to clarify that, but that was definitely not 15 DME. Yeah, maybe 15 DME from Santa Monica, but definitely not from LAX. That can be a little bit misleading. Anyway, we are now proceeding on the 251 radial to Seal Beach. The next one will be Santa Monica, the radial 125. So Santa Monica is 110.8. So I'm gonna set that here in my number 1 radio, 110.8. Gonna set Santa Monica here. There it is, and it's the 125 radial. So let me change, synchronize the heading 074. I'm gonna change the heading here. I'm gonna change to 41. I'm gonna select the, what was that? 125. Okay, so that would be the 305 course. There it is. Okay, so now let's go back to VOR2, go back to navigation, and here is the picture. So now we need to turn more than 90 degrees here to intercept the 125 radial. So probably a little bit before Wilma here, before this waypoint, it will be good to start our turn. Wilma here is, it says our 10 DME from Seal Beach, and we are 12.9 from Seal Beach. So again, for a 1.8 will be for 90 degree turn. This is a more than 90 degree turn, so let's do it 2.2. So almost like it was 10, 2.2. Yeah, now. So let's go and start turning now. I'm gonna change back to VOR1. Intercept angle, still need a little bit more to go. There we go. So now we are almost on the 125, on the 305, sorry, 125 radio. There we go. Okay. So let's see if that does the work. Okay. Right, so let's see. How are we doing on the engine instruments? Yeah, I think the torque is too much for a cruise. Let's set the cruise torque of about 1800. There we go, 1800. Propeller 1800. Okay, so that is good. And let's go back to our Foreflight here on iPath. So yeah, as you can tell, we are intercepted on the radial 125 inbound to Santa Monica. So after that, we will depart from Santa Monica to Takeoff, and that was the radial 317, I think. Let's see here, Takeoff 317, correct. All right, so let's do that. Santa Monica. Okay, so we're going to Santa Monica. After that, we will go to the radial 317, and that's a very small turn. It's basically 10 degrees of turn. So we can wait basically until we are right over the VOR to do that turn. Let's synchronize the heading here. Okay, so engine instruments are okay, lights are okay, all the systems is good, perfect. Okay, we are doing good. Okay, so there is nothing else. Let's go a little bit ahead of the game here. So we know that we are going to Santa Monica. After that, we're going to turn 10 degrees to the right, heading 317 or course 317 to position Takeoff. And after that, we will go straight to, no, it's straight, but I've set direct to Vasco, but we're just gonna use a heading here. This heading will be from Takeoff to Vasco. It's gonna be about Takeoff to Vasco, about 335.
Destination ATIS is 127.55.
Okay, 127.55. Yeah, I'm not using that today. So 335. Yeah, we'll use a 335 after Takeoff 335 heading. And then we are going to intercept the Fillmore 053 radial here towards Amber, and from Amber is the ILS procedure. So we're gonna set that 112.5053. So I'm gonna set that in number 2 radio, 112.5, and in number 1 radio I am gonna set the ILS. Okay, so let's see. We are 5 miles, 6 miles from Santa Monica. We can tell that here. Okay. And we are using VOR 1, so I guess we can go ahead and change number 2. Yeah, I'm gonna change number 2 already to Fillmore. Here it is, Fillmore. And yeah, we already have some information from there. And from Fillmore, we're going to intercept the 053 radius. So that's about a 90 degree, but we're gonna be 335. So yeah, about a 60 degree turn to the right. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so we are 4 miles from Santa Monica. Let's see what is our note here. Yeah, so far so good. So that's one thing that I love about Foreflight as well, that you can see the track. It saves the track that we've been doing. So you can analyze that later on as well. Alright, so after Santa Monica will be Santa Monica to Takeoff 322 heading, and that's considering the wind. Let's see, 5. Let's see the wind according to this. Hold on, let me cross Santa Monica and then we will check that. Let's see what it looks like outside. Okay. Pretty cool. Okay. So we are 1 mile from Santa Monica. We're almost there. And then will be the 317. So I'm gonna change to synchronize the heading, change to heading. Course 317 here. There we go. And we will intercept that. Okay, overshot a little bit here. We waited too long. So we will re-intercept. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're back in business. Back to nav mode. Flying the 317 radial outbound from Santa Monica. Alright, so I was saying if we go here, let's select Santa Monica. No, this one. Santa Monica. Let's go winds 6,000. We're almost 6,000. 008 at 7, and we are showing here 224 at 3. Yeah, not very accurate Microsoft Flight Simulator still in that way, in the winds. Anyway, what is our next? We always have to be thinking what's next. So we are okay here, proceeding in the 317 from Santa Monica to Canoa. That is correct. Okay. So from Santa Monica to Canoa. From Canoa we said we will depart in a heading of about what was that? Canoa 335. Okay. Good. Now Canoa is, let's see if we can make some sense of this mess here. Well, there is another interesting thing that I will show you in, if it's not really clear how what's the distance from Canoa, I clear a bit the thing here. So we can in Foreflight use a rudder. So I'm gonna use the rudder, the ruler from Santa Monica to Canoa. So that is it. So that tells me that from Santa Monica here to Canoa here, it's about 14.3 BME. And is a heading of 141, heading of 321, and that is considering winds already. And we are on a heading of 318. Yeah, again, winds are not really that close to real life in flights already. But we know that 14 miles basically is kind of 14.3 DME. We should see here as well the waypoint here cannot appearing in our map. We'll see. Let's check it out, the scenery here a little bit. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, back to business. So now we're using VOR 1. Next one will be VOR 2 from firmware, and what we can do is start considering the ILS. So for the ILS, let's go to our chart here, ILS Zulu. Why is it looking so bad? I don't know why it's maybe because 111.3, 164, okay. So 111.3 will be the next frequency. And the course for that will be 164. Okay, so we are 11 miles from Santa Monica, 14.3 is Canoa. And once we get there, we will turn 325. So that's a small turn as well. And probably this, yeah, this is Canoa. We can tell already in the moving map that we are where we think we are. So now in our next leg I will show you another trick as well from the VORs. So how can you tell if you're flying to or from the VOR? Well, it's the to from indicator, because it's behind us means we are flying from. If it would be in front of us, we will be flying to. So that is the indication. Okay, we're approaching Canog at 14.3, so I'm gonna synchronize the heading, select heading, select, and at 14.3, there you go. Now turn heading 325, and that will take us basically towards Vasco. That was just a rough, let's see. You know, this Foreflight is a really extremely good software or electronic playback. I really love it. Let's see, according to flyback from Canot to Vasco is a heading of 334. Let's see, heading 325. Let's go to heading of 330. And one of the things that I love about Foreflight is that you have these bits of indications that will let you know exactly if you are gonna keep your track or not, and that is very handy. I know it may look like we're cheating, but whatever, it's really handy. Alright, so next leg will be from Fillmore 112.5 on the 053. So I'm gonna set that 112.5 is already there, is identified as Fillmore. So I'm gonna change CDI to VOR2, and we're gonna change the course to 053. So there we go. Now we are all set to intercept that. Now, how can we know in a VOR if we are correct, if we are flying to the VOR? Well, because the CDI is here, is in front of us, means we are flying towards where we want to go. We want to go basically in this is our route, if you want to think about it, and because we are flying towards that, we are flying correct. If this CDI would be behind us, means we are going away from where we want to be. So that's another way to think about it. Now, where are we with respect to this Fillmore VOR? Well, let's say I'm gonna, sorry, CDI, okay. So I'm gonna go to BFD here. We know that we can look at the indication here, at the bearing indication, and we know that we are here. This is the radial that we are crossing. We are crossing radial 84 from Fillmore. But let's say we don't have that. Let's say we are like that. And with just that information, how can we know where we are with respect to VOR? Well, we see where the to from indication is. So to from indication is here in this area, means that we are in this area. And we see where the CDI is here, means that we are in this area. So we join those two from this to from, we know that we are up here, and from the CDI we know we're down here. So we know that we are somewhere east of the VOR. But of course we can select the bearing to nav2. I don't know if I was clear about that, but I was trying to tell you where we are with respect to the VOR or not. But that's just two ways to have situational awareness when using VORs and HSIs and all that. Okay, so Vasco, and we need to intercept the 053 radial. We are now crossing here the 070. So again, when we see a CDI alive, then that's when we will turn. This is a pretty much what is it? 90-degree turn, almost a little bit less, 80 degrees turn. Let me go back to viewer. Yeah, that's not working anymore unless we set the course to 322. Okay, good. Well, let's see. We are almost there. Yeah, we're 63. There we go. CDI is alive. Let's start our turn. banks. 15 degrees of bank is good. Connection lost. Wow. Okay. Good. Okay, get off. Yeah. Alright, so we are almost there. There we go. Almost there. There we go. Good. So now we can go back to nav mode and track that VOR outbound until position Umber. Successfully connected. Good. So this is what happened. That was our turn. Now we are established on the 053 from firmware, and now we will go to the procedure here. So let's go to our chart. The leading radial is 332, and that is from Van Nuys. So I'm gonna set the Van Nuys on number 2 radio here. Van Nuys is frequency 113.1, so I'm gonna set here 113.1. Change that. That is Van Nuys. Okay, and 331. Sorry, 332. That is coming. Now we're passing perhaps 331. That's from number 2 here. So right now from number 2 we are on 325, and we want the 332. That's the lead radial as per the chart here. You can tell that's the lead radial 332, and that tells us when to start turning to intercept the 164. So now we're gonna change here to VOR1. On VOR1 we need to set to the ILS, India Victor November Yankee. That is correct. So 332, there it is. We are crossing the lead radial, so I'm gonna set heading here and start turning to intercept the 164 course, which is the localizer. So we have here localizer signal. Have the glide slope already parked up there. We should start to see the localizer centering in a bit. There it is, localizer is alive. Very good. Alright, so now we can go ahead and select approach. So localizer is already captured, glide slope is armed, and we're going to reduce our power. Glide slope is alive. Okay, so one more thing we can tell here that we are exactly the localizer, and now we see that our minima is 1095, so we're gonna set that here on our minima arrow 1095, so I'm gonna set that to 1100. Capturing the localizer, and we're gonna set the power for our descent. I'm gonna synchronize the heading just to have the heading synchronized there. And the final approach fix is at 7.4 from Van Nuys, crossing 3,800. So that is very, very important to cross-check altitudes. Now let's see here what is Van Nuys What is the weather like? 29076, clear, wind calm 20 degrees. Okay, so 29076 and we are 29074. So let's say 29076 here. Okay. Good. So again we are cross-checking 7.4 at 3,800. Like that is going to be correct too. 7.4, yeah. 7.4, 7.7, 7.6, 5, 4. And there it is, also our outer market. This one does not have an outer market. So yeah, it looks like there is a little bit of a disagreement in altitude there. Alright, time to select flaps. Here. Ooh, let me check. Correct. Autopilot. Okay, there it's correct. Okay. And once we pass 2,000 feet, I will select flap 30, and then we will be ready. Now we are intercepted. I'm gonna turn the lights on. What else? The missed approach altitude is 4,600, so I'm gonna set that altitude window 4,600, so we are ready for the missed approach altitude. And we just reviewed that we climb, actually no, we climb maximum to 1,700 until 1.5 DME from Van Nuys, and then we turn right to intercept the Van Nuys radial 152. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set 1,700 in our altitude window here. Oh, then, okay, 17. Okay, because we don't want to go higher than that until we cross the 1.5 DME from Van Nuys. So from this reading here. So 1.5, in case of go around, we will go around, we will go manual, so autopilot disconnect, go around thrust, climb altitude, flapped 20, climb it to 1,700, and at 1.5 DME we will turn slightly left, heading 152 to intercept the 152 radial, so we will change to the VOR 2. And in there we should have 152 and follow that initially, and then we will review the rest. So there it is, 2,000 feet. I'm gonna set flap 30. Okay, and set our props before we go around. Set our power, flaps are 30, props are good.
2 mile final runway 16 right.
That is good. We are all set here. Good. And we have the runway in sight already. Okay, so we can tell we are on localizer, on glide slope. Our speed is correct, so we are fully stable, which is what we want. If we are not stable, we need to go around. But for now, we are stable. Hopefully, we can keep that. Okay, our minima, it was 1,095, 1,100 is what I set in the indicator. So if we were in real IMC conditions,
500.
we will still be in clouds at this moment.
500. 500.
Okay, about 300 to minima. Stable, continue. 100 to minimum, stable, continue. Then we start looking for the runway. We have the runway inside. Autopilot disconnect. Yaw damper disconnect. Flaps are down, gear is down, mixture is set, prop is set, seatbelts are on. We are ready to go. Okay, so now we look for 2 whites and 2 reds on the puppies, and that is correct. So we keep that picture. and start reducing power here slowly. We keep that picture, and now we are aiming our aiming marks. Keep reducing, keep reducing, keep reducing, and start the flare. Hold it there, hold it there, hold it there. There we go. And now we use, I still have not figured how to bring my joystick to use reverse thrust. It's not really working. I haven't tried much as well, but anyway. And now we can clear the active, and we will turn left here. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna set the parking brake here. I'm gonna set the flaps to up. I'm gonna turn off the landing lights and the strobe lights, turn on the taxi lights. Set my parking brake for now, reset the trim. So after landing checklist, all is correct. Timer, so we did 36 minutes. There we go, 37 minutes, so we can stop the timer now. Okay, 37 minutes, and now we can do here debriefing. So I think everything went well. Here perhaps I think, yeah, I was a little bit early to start the turn. I saw the CDI moving, but it was not really that moving, so I was a little bit early there. Then I selected nav beforehand, and it didn't do a very good work, so you have to reselect heading and stabilize the things before reselecting nav. In this turn I think it was good. This one was okay. We intercepted the radial to Santa Monica, then we went up to Canock, then we went up to Vasco. That was very good intercept as well. Leaded radial, that's excellent to intercept the final approach course. And then we landed in Van Nuys. So if we go to the track logs, we would be able to see as well. Let's see, there it is. And that gives you the profile, vertical profile as well, and speed as well. So that's pretty good. Looks good to me. So, well, that's it. That's been this practice. Hope you like it. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends about this if you think they may be interested. And see you in the next one.